Okay, here we are. Back after, I think it's just over 2 hours. Ooh, look at that steam go. Might steam up the camera for a minute. So I'm checking it out. I see it bubbling. I'm hoping you can see this. See it bubbling. And I'm just gonna do a general temperature check of my little thermometer here. Because it's chicken. I'm gonna make sure it's cooked. So we're already just boiling at 200 and something, around 208. Let's check the middle. See if the middle is as high as the outside edges where it's boiling. Not quite as high, but we're still at like 181. That's just generally the broth. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a spoon, because I cut those small raw pieces of chicken, and that's a pretty sizable piece of chicken right there. So I want to test the interior temperature of that. I don't know if you can see this. We're already at 170 something, 180, 183. So we know the chicken is safely cooked. All right, so what does that tell me? I don't know. I guess I want to stir it up and get the flavors all throughout. So you can see it's very soupy, very wet. I'm gonna pull one of those potatoes and see how I feel those are coming along. And I'm gonna use the same little thermometer thing to feel. Okay, they're soft, but not quite done. So what that tells me is this is gonna be ready sooner than I think. So I have to make some decisions on what to do. I think I'm gonna leave it up high for like another 30 minutes. Then I'm gonna throw in the peas, stir it around, because I want these flavors to go in a little more. That's what I don't want to cook it too fast. So maybe I'll turn it to low. Maybe that's what I'll do. Turn it to low, let it go maybe an hour. I don't know. If you have suggestions, tell me. I don't know, maybe an hour on low, and then I'll put the biscuits and the peas and whatever in for like a half hour. We'll see what we end up with. Talk to you soon again. Bye. Okay, I'm back. I'm gonna break some more rules. So I got this, I don't know if you can see this, Cheddar Bay biscuit stuff here. I don't know if I'm upside down or not. I might have to flip this video around. I don't know what the heck I'm doing. So I got Cheddar Bay biscuit here, and it says you're supposed to do biscuit mix. It says half a cup of cheese, and I got this store-bought cheese. And I'm gonna do what I think is a half a cup because, you know, me, I don't measure. I just put it in there. So I think that's about a half cup. So there's our cheddar jack. Let me grab a spoon again. And just for good measure, I'll mix that together. Good measure. Okay. Me, who doesn't measure. Okay, and it said 3 cups of cold water. I'm jumping in 3 cups of cold water. And because I'm breaking rules, they give you this stuff to, this spice mix stuff that you're supposed to mix with butter and put on top. I'm not doing that. I'm just putting the spice mix in here. Well, whatever we get, we get. Oh, apparently the spice mix has been around for a while because it's pretty firm. I'm gonna try to break that up a little bit because I don't want that all clumpy. I don't know. I guess whatever. It's gonna be what it's gonna be. Hopefully the water will soften that up. Okay, so as I said, using up stuff. I guess this Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuit stuff has been around a while. So here you go. And that reminds me of my my take on labels and best used by. Ask me about that sometime. Get me on a roll. So it said mix it up so it's like dough. That looks like dough. Okay. Now I'm really gonna go rogue here. okay? So all these recipes tell you to take pre-made biscuit dough, like the kind that you get in those rolled out refrigerator packets, and drop it on top of your soupy stuff in your crock pot. And it'll be like, kind of like chicken and dumplings. So I don't know if I really want chicken and dumplings, if I want chicken and biscuits. So what if I went half and half, and instead of steaming by putting the crock pot cover back on, what if I took my crock pot and I put it in the oven, just the insert. Let me show you. Hang on, hold that thought. So I've added the peas, you saw, and I have the dough going. So this is super hot. I very carefully lifted this crock pot insert, which is ceramic, covered in porcelain, and you just heard that beep over there. I preheated my oven to 350, which these biscuits say, the biscuits say 425. So I'm gonna put it up to 425. Bake 425. Okay, so we'll give that a couple more minutes. Okay, so I'm just gonna take this, and I don't know, I'm dropping biscuit dough onto here. I tasted it, everything is cooked. I checked temperature a couple of times on different pieces of chicken, made sure I got some of the chicken that I put in raw, made sure I got the chicken that was already cooked. I checked it all out. This tastes like an absolutely delicious chicken stew kind of thing so far. I'll update more on that later. But I'm just dropping all these biscuits into here. Now my hope is that I get the bottoms of my biscuits maybe a little bit like dumplings, but I'm hoping that I get the top of my biscuits a little brown, like a baked biscuit. Is this a thing? I don't know. But, you know, happy birthday to my friend Candy, who I just got off the phone with. She and I come up with all kinds of crazy stuff to do. And so here we are. And she said, oh, why don't you just put it in a different pan and put it in the oven? I said, wait, the whole purpose is not to have more pans. So here we are. I'm gonna lift up this thing after I wash my hands. And that was hot and bubbly right off the crock pot. And I'm gonna stick it in the oven for however many minutes it says. And it's very heavy and it's very hot. So you have to be very careful. Okay, so hold that thought. I'm gonna open the oven and have that ready. And it says to do the biscuits for, and I'm trying to find it on the back of the package, 14 to 16 minutes. So, I don't know, here we go. Oven is at 395. So we'll see what happens. So oven, this thing weighs a ton. I'm going very carefully. Oh God, I hope I make it. I'm gonna set timer. I'm actually gonna go for 16 minutes. 16 minutes, I'll be back with you and we'll see what my experiment. Okay, here we have it, bubbling in the oven. The biscuits are brown. I don't know, it looks like it might have worked. We're gonna pull it out and I'll give you an update. Okay, so here's my thing, half eaten. Why? Because I screwed up the video. You know, chaotic me, I don't have a vocabulary anymore, and I screw up the buttons when I press them. So this is what it looks like after 2 people have tasted it. So I wanna show you, since I already did this, but I'm gonna put some in here. You see you have the big hunks of potato. They're perfectly cooked, but not mushy. And I'm not gonna eat another potato because you know me. But I have the carrot, and the carrots, they're not crunchy, but they have texture. I have to chew them, which is what I like. The flavor is good. I might have gotten a little carried away with the rosemary when you saw me putting it in there, and I said I wasn't gonna do too much, but then a bunch came out. But anyway, but then my favorite part was actually the biscuit, okay? So the bottom of the biscuit is super kind of dense and doughy, not as noodly as a dumpling, but close. I love that part. And then the top is a little bit more biscuit-like. So overall, my house, excuse me, talking with my mouth full. Overall, my house smells fabulous. It's all in one pot. It only took me 24 minutes, I timed myself, 24 minutes to put everything in there in the beginning, put it on the crock pot for a couple hours. Then I came back, mixed up the dough, you saw that part, and here we are. Sunday dinner. It was a great day. Hope you're having a good day. Stay warm.